changed position. So he didn't start off as a natural forward. So for someone to be converted to a forward and to be leading a club of the caliber of West Ham United and also a Premier League club as well, with 83 goals in his back pocket, firmly cementing his name in the club's history books. I think.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
All right.
Check, yeah.
Yeah, everything good?
Yeah, man.
I want to ask you this important question, right?
Yeah.
As a Red Devil, I know you know where I'm going with this one. Who do you predict will have the better season, you or the club that you support, and what's your reasoning?
Why not the both of us?
You're sure about that?
Both of we can trust me, man.
Own a buy from the transfer window. You sure?
Yeah, who you support? Arsenal?
Then the must.
Well, London is red in Manchester United.
But like that, what's your Premier League prediction? Where do you think you'll finish? Fifth. That's a humble. Okay, so back in Europe.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, I wish you the very best. Before you go though, I want to know your parish of birth because I feel like we're from the same parish, but I don't want to get too excited.
Paul Bogle.
Paul Bogle. Okay, St. Thomas. All right, so you have to pick up the people then from St. Thomas before you leave.
Everybody from Cedar Valley, man, and Content, Newcastle, the whole of St. Thomas.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.
I feel like I'm from UK, you know.
See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Talawa TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Shout Out the Messenger, and you're watching Talawa TV with the host and best Davis. Take it away.
My Talawers, how are you all? Good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you are in the world. Welcome back to another live stream here. I know there's a bit of a mixed reaction pertaining to it's no longer a situation, it's now reality for Michail Antonio. So I know some people, if you're looking at this from an emotional perspective, I know some people have varied feelings and opinion. I'm sorry, but those fireworks are going off again, and it's kind of making me a little bit nervous because it's so close to my door that I kind of feel like it's someone banging on my door, but it's not. So as I said, I know some of you have like mixed emotions, mixed reactions towards the decision made by West Ham United. So if you haven't seen it by now, hopefully I can bring you on the same page as myself and the rest of us. I'm pretty sure you would have seen this one there floating around over the last couple of days, especially with the announcement there of Callum Wilson. So let's just go ahead and look at this club statement there from West Ham. I think I might just read it completely there for you guys. Let's see what you guys are saying. All right, I'm going to take my eyes off the comment section in a while, okay? In the meantime, you guys should see your comments pop up on the screen, and I will turn my attention to your comments once I've finished highlighting the club statement. So it does say here, West Ham United can confirm that following the expiry of his contract at the end of last season, Michail Antonio will not be signing a new deal as a first-team player with the club. The 35-year-old striker who joined the Hammers in September 2015 from Nottingham Forest made 323 appearances over a decade, scoring 83 goals and becoming the club's leading Premier League goal scorer in the process. He also played a key role in ending West Ham United's 43-year wait for a major honour with victory in the 2023 UEFA Europa League Conference League in Prague. I'm pretty sure we are familiar to much of that information there because we have sat through Michail Antonio's career with West Ham, especially when he became a Reggae Boy, officially a Reggae Boy. So much of what I've just said is just me regurgitating information that I've already shared with you guys on the channel over the last couple of years and counting. But let's just continue with the rest of that club statement there. It also says here he was named Hammer of the Year runner-up at the end of his debut season with the club when he scored in his farewell victory against Manchester United in May 2016, and then won better a year later, becoming Hammer of the Year in our first season at London Stadium. So that would have been at the Upton Park Stadium. I wish I had the chance to go to Upton Park. I say always, but every now and then I would walk past the stadium on match day, because at that point I lived close by to the stadium, or I should say my family and I live close by to the stadium. So sometimes on match day, to avoid the the traffic, which would basically be halted, obviously because it's match day, we'll just get on our foot, keep it moving, doing 10 toes, and always stop and just like, wow, be like mesmerized at what's going on at Upton Park. It's one of those stadiums there. As a football fan, even as you don't have to be a West Ham United fan, as a neutral, I'm sure you probably want to have visited Upton Park. Just like your Highbury, I'm sure there's an abundance of sports supporters out there who would have loved to have visited Highbury, not just Arsenal fans. It's history, isn't it? So that one is that. Didn't get the chance to do it. Obviously won't get the chance to do it because they have since moved on and their new home is the London Stadium. But moving on with the rest of that club statement there, it also says here, the remarkable courage and determination he showed to overcome injuries sustained in a December 2024 road traffic accident saw him return to competitive action on the international stage in June 2025, appearing as a substitute for Jamaica in a CONCACAF Gold Cup tie against Guatemala. More recently, he gained further playing time on the pitch in a Hammers shirt when he played 45 minutes and scored twice in our U21 development match in a friendly against Boreham Wood. Michail will always be much loved and respected, will always be a much loved and respected member of West Ham United family, and has been the case since December. The club will continue to support and assist him in his ongoing rehabilitation, offering him access to training, facilities, and medical care if needed. Dialogue continues over his future involvement with the club in an alternative capacity, including one that would enable others to benefit from his experience and leadership qualities. And he will forever hold a special place in our 130-year history. Everyone at West Ham United would like to sincerely thank Michail for his outstanding, dedicated service in a claret and blue shirt over the last decade. Further recognition of his magnificent contribution will appear across clubs channels in the coming days and weeks. So that is that there for West Ham. Let me know what you make of that club statement there, or more so what you make of West Ham's decision to pretty much not extend any contracts there where Michail Antonio is concerned. Now, in terms of some of the stuff there that was mentioned in the top half of the article, I don't wish to speak about his personal life, even though he has made some of it public. I'm mindful that what's happened in his personal life from the latter stages of last year through to the current, even over recent weeks, it might be triggering and traumatic for those of you who are watching. So hence me not wanting to go there. But the article in terms of the club announcement there, the club statement, pretty much touched on a few of those moments there for Michail Antonio on a personal level. But I'm not going to go there. I'm going to focus on the positives, which means I need to scroll back up the top half of the website piece there and do a little highlight in terms of the impact there that Michail Antonio had on West Ham United and also on the Premier League. But before I dive into that, before I forget, is it the right decision? It depends on whether you're looking at this from an emotional perspective or a business perspective. We already know how football is, or just how sports is in general. Like for me, as much as some of us or most of us where the Jamaica football community is concerned, probably a little bit annoyed about the outcome. At the end of the day, if we remove our heart and our emotions from the decision, I think we can all agree to an extent or to a large extent that West Ham United, in the sense of looking at it as a 9 to 5, they have made a business decision that benefits the company being West Ham United. And in Michail Antonio's case, clearly the club felt that now was the right and appropriate time to move on. I believe some weeks back we touched on the current situation there with West Ham United and Michail Antonio. And at that time, they didn't make there was no definitive decision there pertaining to what they were going to do with Michail Antonio. Most certainly not publicly, right? But I don't think it should come as a surprise regarding what the final decision is. So as I said, for me, it's a business making a decision that benefits the company. And yes, you don't have to agree with it, but at the end of the day, business is business. Michail Antonio's had, clearly you can look at that in black and white, their club statement. You don't even need to look at the club statement. If you've been keeping an eye on Michail Antonio and West Ham United, or just the Premier League in general, then you'll know that he's had without a shadow of a doubt, a successful career with the Hammers. And I believe the things that he has achieved in terms of being their top goal scorer where Premier League is concerned. When you look at the players who have come before Michail Antonio, and the fact that he's leaving as their leading top goal scorer there, you can see it here in black and white, scoring 83 goals and becoming club's leading Premier League goal scorer in the process. When you think of all those big name players there that have played for West Ham United, and the fact that one of our very own Michail Antonio, a Reggae Boy, went to West Ham United, let's remind ourselves that he changed position, so he didn't start off as a natural forward. So for someone to be converted to a forward and to be leading a club of the caliber of West Ham United, and also a Premier League club as well, with 83 goals in his back pocket, firmly cementing his name in the club's history books. I think, it's job done. It's job done for him. I should think he has surpassed all expectations, because as I said, when he signed for West Ham United, I don't know him personally. Be interesting to hear what you guys think in the comment section. I don't think he would have imagined beyond his wildest imagination that when his time comes to an end with West Ham United, that he be leaving as their top goal scorer, as the club's top goal scorer where the Premier League is concerned. So I should think, with that being said, that it is most certainly job done. And I do think that as it relates to not just the club, but also for the West Ham supporters out there, that he is, and I should assume always be, loved and appreciated by the fans. In my opinion, he's a Premier League veteran. Again, just think of his career trajectory and where he started off, and to the current, from club to club, league to league, on an upward trajectory, changing positions, playing wise, that is, on the field of play, and so on. And I've always said on my channel with you guys that success to a degree can be subjective. So when you look at the term success and also Premier League legend, I think it's often used subjectively. Most certainly when you're talking about Premier League legend, I think the Premier League legend conversation is used subjectively. I don't think it carries a single official definition. However, when you look at the criteria typically associated with said status, I think that there's a strong case there for Michail Antonio in the context of West Ham United. You look at the fact that, again, leaving as the club top goal scorer, and also his longevity. I don't think he can overlook his loyalty and his longevity. He spent a decade with the Hammers, and I think nowadays that's somewhat of a rarity. It's a rarity in modern football to see a player stay at one club for 10 years. They move about quite frequently these days. So the longevity, the long-term commitment there from Michail Antonio, what he has poured back into the club, and also what the club has poured back into him as well. I think he does solidify his place in the club's identity, overall identity, and most certainly their Premier League identity. So in summary, to gloss over all of that again, bit of a subjective take there. Let's see if I can go back to seeing you guys there in the comment section. Bit of a subjective take in terms of whether you view him as a club legend. I don't think there's any subjectivity with that one. Definitely a club legend. Whether you view him as a Premier League club legend, that's probably a different conversation there for you guys. Either way, I think most certainly he is a legend. While he may not be considered as a legend of the Premier League as in the whole say in the same breath as your all-time greats. You know, you think of all the great players there that's played in the Premier League, from your Thierry Henry, your Wayne Rooney, the Gerrards, all of that. He's not going to be seen or classed in the same brackets as those guys, but he's still unequivocally a legend of West Ham United, and I think most certainly a respected figure in the Premier League for his achievements, and also, as I said, his career path, his trajectory. I think without a shadow of a doubt, one of our own, no bias, but a special player, and most certainly all the best to him in his future endeavors.
John Barnes, and you're watching Talawa TV with Crystal Davis.